So when I look back, I'm like, was I saved? I have all these questions for God.
Yeah.
But I think I was saved. I just think that I was lukewarm and I needed to become holy and consecrated. And he just needed to get a hold of me to where his Holy Spirit really became alive.
Welcome to the Everyday Faith Podcast, where we believe you can live out your faith every day by starting with belief, embracing your mission, committing to obedience, and pursuing community. I'm Dan.
And I'm Jess. And today we are thrilled to welcome Heidi Mortenson to the podcast. Heidi is a licensed marriage and family therapist, speaker, author, host of the Strong Tower Mental Health podcast. She brings incredible clarity and hope to anyone wanting freedom from fear, shame, overwhelm, all those things that weigh us down, all grounded in Jesus and our identity in him. We can't wait for you to hear her heart and her stories. Heidi, welcome to the show. Thanks so much for being here.
Thank you for having me. I'm excited to be with both of you.
Oh, it's going to be a good time. From one counselor to another. I know we're gonna bring up some really good stuff into our conversation today. Buckle up,
This
Dan.
is kind of scary for me.
Buckle up.
Well, tell us about your faith journey. Tell us how you came to know Jesus.
Yeah, so I grew up in a Lutheran home, but when I was 16, my friend invited me to a church that was Assemblies of God. I didn't know what that was. I just know my friend went to this really cool youth group, and I went a couple times. I don't even really remember a lot of the details, but I have a very specific memory of being in this church where people were speaking in different language. I didn't understand what they were doing, but I was pulled to the front of the room, so I don't remember feeling any control over my body. But I was pulled to the front of the room in an altar call and was crying. And that was when I officially gave my life to Jesus. I didn't realize this until later in my life that that was when I actually got saved. But I wasn't really discipled for most of the time after that. I didn't continue attending that church. I went to college and looked it up and lived the, crazy college life and was always loving Jesus, always trying to go to church here and there, but not super dedicated or faithful until about 8 years ago. My husband and I still went to church, but about 8 years ago, God really, really got a hold of me in a very big way. It was in a moment. Do you want me to tell this part of my story?
We'd love it.
I think we should go there.
Yeah.
Let's do it.
During this time, this is when I had owned my business about 10 years, give or take. And I had gotten to this place where I was really struggling. I was not happy with where I was at. My husband and I were not getting along very well. So communication wasn't good. And I got in this place where I was like hating everything. And then I started to feel constricted and I started to feel trapped. Like I just keep making all these mistakes. I wish that I could get out of this, but I can't get out of this. I have to be thankful, but I'm struggling. And I had a moment where I was like, I hate my life. I hate my husband. I don't want any of this. And I wouldn't say that I was suicidal, but I was thinking that I would rather not be here than be here. And I knelt down in my room and I was just, I was screaming at God. Out came from my mouth, Jesus, help. It was like this breathing, I'm almost dying. And I finally am able to get this word out. And something happened in that moment, and my life has never been the same. And a little bit of hope came in. And from there, I have not been able to not think about Jesus. The Bible became alive to me. I've been to ministry school. I've been to all these sorts of conferences. There are all these behind me that I never had before. I mean, it has just been a whirlwind of God really taking over my life in a good way. So I'm very thankful, even though it was not really great how I got there. But it was like, no, girl, you need to come alive.
So isn't it funny? Like we tried everything we can on our own and it's just not working, God.
Yeah.
I did everything I can and now I hate all these different things. Like what is happening? And then the surrender comes. I mean, that's beautiful. And then how the God's just waiting for you. And doesn't say, I told you so. Doesn't, you know what I mean?
Yes. Yeah, he's kind. He's patient.
And I really believe like when you have a relationship with Christ, something has to change. Right? Like you're your thoughts changed, your actions then changed, right? Like things were changing, not instantly, but over time because of that relationship with Christ. I mean, that's incredible.
Absolutely. And I didn't know that until I experienced this. So
Yeah.
so when I look back, I'm like, was I saved? I have all these questions for God.
Yeah.
But I think I was saved. I just think that I was lukewarm and I needed to become holy and consecrated. And he just needed to get a hold of me to where his Holy Spirit really became alive. I got to know Father God, Jesus, and the Holy Spirit. It wasn't just a one-track God with just Jesus. I was really get a hold of the whole Trinity and the power of the way that God designed us from the beginning.
Right. Wow. I wonder how many people are in that place of like, oh yeah, I'm a Christian and I go to church on Sundays and I even do like a Bible study and it's amazing. But there's another level that they haven't unlocked yet. They haven't, I don't know. What would it be?
Fully surrendered.
Well, fully surrendered.
Right? Point. It's like, Lord, I trust you in this, but this is mine.
So?
And I say this convicted myself, right? I'm like, oh yeah, it's a daily surrender.
Yeah.
And I also think that it's a relationship and starting to connect to that he's speaking to you directly. Even today I was talking to mom at school and her daughter's struggling with perfectionism and even just kind of feeling anxious about classes. And I just encouraged her to ask Jesus what Jesus says about her and teach her to hear what Jesus says instead of just doing the things. There's too much of us doing things instead of just sitting, receiving, and being and hearing that Jesus is like, I love you. Let's go paint. Let's go for a walk. And just do life with Jesus instead of doing the things for him.
That's really good.
Okay, let's not talk about this. This is like, real convicting stuff here, Heidi. I love doing stuff for Jesus, sometimes without him. Right?
I mean, I was thinking about,
so
like motherhood, right? For me, okay, that's my profession really, as being a mom. And, I'm thinking about homeschooling for our oldest and just trying to, I'm starting to think about what next year's going to look like. It's like, well, why is it that I'm consulting, I don't know, social media or what, even godly circles of women in my area? Even why am I consulting what they're saying more than I'm communing with God and asking him what he wants for our kids, for our family, for me, for this next school year? Why am I not even going to him?
Right. It's a whole concept like you lose something and you look everywhere you possibly can for it and you're lifting up every cushion and moving all the couches and then you're like, Lord, just please help me. And it's like, oh, right there. It's like,
So good.
why didn't I start with that?
I think it's easier to talk with somebody we can physically see and a message we can physically see on our phone. It's something that feels more tangible. And for me anyways, I am very visual. I'm a visual person and I like to feel things. And if I can't feel it or see it, I'm like, well, is it really there? Is Jesus really there? And it helps me if I can have visuals to put to it. So I understand why you're reaching out to your friends and looking at your phone. And I think that God does use those things.
Yeah.
But I don't think he doesn't use those things. It's more us leaning into what does he have for me right now and go to him first and then go to our friends or then go to the message on the phone and trying to have that connected relationship where you feel loved and you feel like you're in his arms. He's just like, I got you, girl. I love you. Now let's go see what Instagram has. Let's see what those messages are. So you're doing it with him and he's excited with you to find out what people are talking about with parenting their children.
I love that. And even just the way that you're talking about it, it's like, yeah, I think that would make life feel a little better. Doing it with God. Huh. Oh, there's a thought. Anyway. Okay. Well, let's see.
Can I ask a question? So Heidi, what do you believe God is saying about you?
Right now in this moment, he is telling me that he loves me. He's telling me that I'm worthy, that I am a light and then he does not want that light to be covered up.
That's beautiful. Now, how do you get to that? Like, what does that look like? Is he telling you? Is there something you saw? Is it something you felt? Like, just for people that don't understand how easy connecting with God can be, share just how you got, like, how did you hear that, see that, feel that?
Yeah. So this specifically was meeting with a friend of mine who is a coach, and her guiding me in this, and her basically asking me, what is Jesus saying about you? And so she was helping coach me to hear what Jesus was saying. And when she asked me, I had a vision of myself sitting in my living room with the basket over, and I could see the little lights shining through the holes of the basket.
Yeah.
And I'm like, there's a basket on me, and I can feel that I have this light. God gave me this light. And I could feel that Matthew 5, where it talks about to don't cover the light. And that's what I felt. And so then she was leading me into, well, where's Jesus? Well, he's right next to me. He can take the basket off. So he takes the basket off, and being able to continue to lean into what do you hear Jesus saying to you and what feels right. So I like to be authentic. I don't like to fake things or force things.
Yes.
Sometimes people will be like, God calls you his brave warrior. And I'm like, don't feel that, so, but this was something that I felt like I truly believe that he has made me a light. And I think that I have allowed where other people have not been to squash that light. I am very much I can people please. And so I will make other people feel comfortable because that light is too bright. And, I better just squash it down a little bit so that you're comfortable. And he's telling me, don't do that. I have made you to be a bright light so that you can shine my light to other people in the rest of the world. So I'm leaning into his voice right now. And that's what he's showing me in this moment.
So good, Heidi.
Wow. And I commend you. Our fourth pillar is pursue community.
Yeah.
And so seeking out somebody, pursuing somebody that can help walk you through that, like that is God's design. Like we were designed to be in relationship. And it's a lie to think that you have to do all this alone.
Well, and can I just say, like, we all have different gifts and, things that God has placed in us, abilities, and, what I bring to a friendship, right, is different than what Dan brings to a friendship.
It's very different.
Thank goodness. And, right, we're different
we're
for a reason.
We're vastly different. It's amazing. You want to be her friend over mine.
But when you go to coffee with somebody, right, I love going on a little coffee date, but man, so it's easy to stay in the shallow conversations. And I think we can be doing this with good friends, with the people that we go grab coffee with for the first time. If they're not a believer, or maybe if I am, if I've experienced things that they haven't in the spirit, that's something that I get to bring to the table and open their eyes to. But I also think that that's something that, we should be doing together regularly. It shouldn't just be, things are so hard right now, I got to call up a friend. No, this is something we can be doing all the time. That is what pursuing community is all about.
So good. A couple years ago, I had this dream that I want my kids to know how to pray, to know how to hear from God, to know how to lean into giving encouraging words. And I invited some families from my kids' school and a couple other neighbors. And we've been doing it now for 2 years. And so we call them prayer play dates. They're getting a little old, so I probably don't need to call it a play date anymore. But we would start with worship and then move into a short little teaching with the kids. And then the moms would pray and the kids would go play. And the goal is that the kids like it, they enjoy it, that we don't, push things on them, but that God is starting to speak to them. So it's been interesting because obviously there's things that I'm like, I want to push a little bit more in certain things. So I've had to lean into where is God and what is God doing, and not jump ahead or push ahead to things that he's maybe not on. So for me, learning how to do that, but this has been community, and this has been a really supportive way of bringing in moms, bringing in the kids, and kind of doing it in a messy way, but he's there and he's teaching us along as we go along.
I love that idea. And can I just throw into, Dan and I were just talking about, he's reading a book, and one of the concepts was, about men in community, because I don't know why, but I feel like women, it's some reason maybe more allowed than it is with guys, or guys, it has to be around football and going to get drinks or something. I don't know.
Well, do you know why men golf?
Why?
Because it's awkward to ask a guy to go for a walk outside.
But men need relationship just as much as women do, right?
They do.
Yeah. So anyway, I love what you're sharing, and I said that sounds so fun. Like, I need to go set up a little prayer playtime. Is that what you call it? Prayer play date?
Prayer play date.
Right. But I feel like the men. Let's do it.
That is another dream. I've thought about it. I asked my husband. He said, yes, we can do that. I thought about doing like Friday night lights, and like we would do worship with the men and the children and do the same kind of thing, a little teaching, and then couples can pray and the kids can go play.
Amazing.
We just have not done that yet, but that is here and it's in my heart, and I would like to make that happen.
That is so cool, Heidi.
Well, it's cool how you initiate. We were just talking about that too. Nobody initiates in friendships, right? Like, that's the biggest issue. So I commend you for initiating and setting up this environment where people can come and do a prayer and play date. I think that's absolutely incredible.
Okay. And then I guess one other thing, because it's on my mind and we're on the topic. I think so many times we don't do something because we feel like I don't have every single element in place that I need to. It's not perfectly set up yet. But I think that's the beauty, again, of community, because no, you might not be able to get the whole charcuterie board and coffee bar set up, but you can open your home, and you've got a girlfriend that loves to do, bake bread or something, right? And another person who's taught in the children's area at church. And so you don't have to have it all together, but maybe you're just the person who's kicking it off, opening your home and starting the conversation to invite other people into it so they can be blessed as they bring their gifts to the table too.
Sure. Speaking from my heart, because I am not a huge food person, but I can open my home and I can buy a couple things, get the donuts, and then ask some other people to bring other things. And that is exactly what we did. So thank you for naming
There we go.
that. And I totally agree. We don't have to be the one that does it all. And I think sometimes you're right. We don't do it because we think we have to have everything put together. I don't even care if my house isn't super clean. I just think just come on in and I just open my home.
Yeah.
Wasn't that funny too, of like the clean house is like, well, now somebody, like, even having a clean house isn't always helpful, right? Because it's like, well, they got their life put together. It's like this little Instagram
comparison is silly,
like they see us for 2 hours, we have a clean house and no dishes, and it's like an hour later it's a mess and there's dishes everywhere.
Yes.
So I love just being real with people, and like we steward things well, and also we have 4 kids, so things get messy fast, and that's okay.
Yeah.
Okay. Well, Heidi, one of the things I love that you already mentioned is, you're starting to teach your kids, you're starting to bring them into things, help them learn and grow and understand kind of this side of knowing Jesus, that it's kind of our job. It's kind of our job to lead them in this. And so start with belief. I want you to talk a little bit more about that pillar of living out your faith every day. Start with belief, and maybe how it finds its way into your clinical setting as well, because that is a really big deal when we're working through the struggles of life. It's important that we do start with belief.
Mm-hmm.
Before I had my experience where God really showed up, I was a therapist who was sometimes Christian. And so I would integrate where I felt more comfortable. Obviously, if a client comes to me and says they want to integrate their faith, we will integrate their faith. But I wasn't doing it at a level that happened after God showed up. And my belief in God became more alive. It became more integrated, more real. It wasn't, again, I would say that I was lukewarm. So the words were real, like the words became alive. I remember speaking out 1 John 4:4, where it says, greater is he who is in the world than he that is in you than he who is in the world. And I remember speaking that, and I didn't believe it. but I knew that it was true because God spoke it. So my belief wasn't there, but I was being honest with God. And I said, God, I don't believe this, but you say this. Help me to believe this. So that I'm partnering with him. And as I lean into this, I think it took about 6 months to where all of a sudden my spirit started to soar. And I was like, greater is he who is in me than he who is in the world. And it started to become alive. And as I was working with people, I could see, almost like I could see past their problems at a greater level. I could see into where God hope was for each of them. And I was then able to discern and lean into where they were at and what they could receive. So you can't give somebody meat who is only able to drink milk. So then I would lean into, okay, they're not able to eat that meat that I can see and that I know that God is saying about them, but I'm going to lean back and I'm going to discern that the Lord is telling me to give them encouragement. And this is coming from this stem of my belief that God made alive in me so that I can see how God is seeing these people. And so as I'm partnering with him, as I'm working with my clients, I'm speaking out truth, encouraging, speaking out life. May not be using biblical language, but I'm speaking God's heart. So you are worthy, you are loved, you are talented, you are capable, and giving encouragement that starts to make that light spark in them so that as they continue to keep coming back, the depression starts to decrease and the hope starts to increase. And then I'm able to track the symptoms decreasing or the negative symptoms decreasing, and then things in their life starting to change to where that belief then starts to become more alive for them. But it's not at my level because I would love to go full speed ahead, but I'm learning how to discern where God is having me speak in that moment for them.
That's so good, Heidi. I love how applicable that is because you were doing that in a one-on-one setting. They're coming to talk with you, right, in a therapy setting.
Yeah.
But this is applicable in the drive-through. It's applicable at the gym with the person that you're partnered up with in the fitness class. It's, your coworker. This, your neighbor. This is stuff that you can encourage someone. If you don't know where they're at with the Lord, start small. But also there's this discernment piece because someone might actually be ready for a little bit more of a challenge maybe, or a little bit bigger truth than what you might think otherwise. I don't know.
Yeah, that's really good.
Well, Heidi, as we wrap up part 1, time's going by so fast. As we wrap up part 1, what is something you'd like to share to encourage or equip us and our listeners on maybe some of this topic?
Yeah, I think I want to encourage people to be able to step to truth versus what is facts and what they might feel. So we might feel discouraged. We might feel like we're messing up and we're not, we struggles in our marriage or struggles in whatever that is that's going on. And it's real and it's factual. But the truth, what God says about our situation is not that. And so I want to encourage people to lean into that the same way that Bible verse wasn't alive for me. I didn't believe it, even though God said it was true. And saying, God, I trust you, but I'm not there right now. Can you help me to believe what your word says, that you love me with an everlasting love, that you gave this spouse for me, that this covenant was what you designed for us, and that you want to bring peace and hope in my marriage, even though I'm not feeling it right now. And being able to lean into believing God will help you to feel it and to step into actually living out that belief instead of having it operating on our feelings and then the facts that have happened in the past.
Well, thank you, Heidi. We're excited for part 2.
You're welcome. Thanks for having me.
Thank you for listening to this conversation from the Everyday Faith Podcast. Our goal is to inspire everyday faith conversations. Please join us by rating and reviewing wherever you're listening, and most importantly, by sharing with a friend. For more resources like this, visit our website, askaboutmyfaith.com. God bless you as you live out your faith in your everyday rhythms of life.